Honest to God, America, what is wrong with you? How is this not clearly a problem? Look at what is happening in our court system. Look what Massey had to say yesterday to our Attorney General. You seen this yet? Watch. Here's the first clip from Massey and our Attorney General, the chief law enforcement officer of our country. Listen to this.
That was your answer to a question to me 2 years ago when I said how many agents or assets of the government were present on January 5th and January 6th and agitating in the crowd to go into the Capitol and how many went into the Capitol. Can you answer that now?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, last time you don't know how many there were or there were none?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. If there were any, I don't know how many. I don't know whether there are any.
Oh, my gosh.
I think you may have just perjured yourself that you don't know that there were any. You want to say that again, that you don't know that there were any?
I have no personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said the last time.
You've had 2 years to find out. And the day, by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps. And yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet. You've got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach. You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor? The American public isn't buying it.
Okay, now listen, this is what he said about that question in 2021. Listen.
I was hoping today to give you an opportunity to put to rest the concerns that people have that there were federal agents or assets of the federal government present on January 5th and January 6th. Can you tell us, without talking about particular incidents or particular videos, how many agents or assets of the federal government were present on January 6th, whether they agitated to go into the Capitol, and if any of them did?
So I'm not going to violate this norm of the rule of law. I'm not going to comment on an investigation that's ongoing.
How do you investigate January 6th and you haven't even asked if we had any agents on the ground? How is that even possible? How's it possible? Is anyone else beside people who voted differently than Joe Biden, is anyone else saying, wait a minute, Ray Epps, he was on the FBI's most wanted list, then they removed his picture after a few days. Then when people said, wait a minute, who is this guy? Others identified him as Ray Epps. He then becomes no big deal. The New York Times does this love letter to Ray Epps. He's on videotape saying, we got to go in there. We got to go in. Tomorrow, we go in. We have videotape of him actually looking at one guy who's standing at the gate, who's not trying to open it up, and he leans in and whispers in his ear, and pretty soon, not long after the whisper in the ear, within seconds, that guy starts shoving the gate open and letting everybody in. And Ray Epps actually said in testimony, I was just telling him, this isn't you. The cops are our friends. Don't do this. Really? Because he was peaceful before. And this guy now is on getting a misdemeanor. He's everything the Biden administration says is a problem. He's everything. All of the people that were there around him when he was given the speech the night before, everybody around him, Trump supporters, real Trump supporters, were shouting, Fed, 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 because they sensed this was a setup. Does anybody have a problem with that? Does anybody have a problem with what Garland is doing, slow walking every investigation in Washington and then putting grandmas in jail? Look, we don't usually prosecute people who lie on their form, for their gut. Excuse me, what? This administration, this one, isn't looking for every opportunity to put somebody in jail, a white guy? Huh. I'm not sure I know how to help anymore. I really don't. I'm having a very difficult time because the hour is growing very, very late, and I don't see the movements. Here's what I see. I see people getting so frustrated that they're like, you know what? Get them. I see that. I see, guys apparently talking about, the Roman Empire all the time. I don't even know what that is. Stu, how many times do you think of the Roman Empire a day?
I mean, 0, but I have read 2 Marcus Aurelius books in the last year.
Right.
So that's a problem.
All right. So is that a problem?
I'd like to say it was 0. That was my initial response, but then no, actually. Mine is more than
my answer to that is never, but I spell never N-E-5-E-R. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I'm hearing people, we need a new Caesar. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Where are the people that are learning the Constitution? Where are the people that are standing for the Constitution? You have brave whistleblowers now, but nobody seems to care about what the whistleblowers are saying. And these whistleblowers are credible. You know their names. They're taking the heat. It's not like, well, when you hear what this whistleblower, who we won't tell you who it is, even though everybody knows who it is already, and that makes him suspect. We're not going to tell you that that's him because he's got stuff that you won't believe. And then where's the stuff? Just exactly what happened to Ken Paxton. Do you know that the governor yesterday? Well, let me just tell you this one. This shows me how deep the problems are. Do you remember talking about a couple from Germany who had 7 kids, the Romeki family, and they came over here? This is like 2013, and they came over here because the state said they had to teach their kids, I don't remember what it was, and they were like, no, that violates our religious point of view. No, we can't do that. And so they were going to take the kids away, and so they decided to come over here. And after a battle with the Obama administration, they were allowed to stay here in Virginia. Do you know what the Biden administration just did? After leaving these people alone for 10 years, giving them hope that America was a place that they could actually have freedom of religion. Without any notice or anything, they just called them up and said, by the way, you have to return to Germany, you're out. We've got 2.5 to 3 million people in the last 2 years coming across our border. And yet you have this family in Virginia that is peaceful, kind, productive. All they want is to teach their kids about God. And our government, this shows you how much money and how deep this goes. When you have time in these days to go, you remember that family? Get them. The governor in Pennsylvania yesterday just signed a new order where now you can be registered to vote with your driver's license. Okay, except that's not what the law says. The governor cannot do that. The legislature has to. And they currently have a system where you go to get your driver's license and you have to check a box. I want to register my vote now or not. All you have to do is check a box. That's too much work. They took the box off. The governor did it by himself, disregarding the Constitution of Pennsylvania. Don't worry, they can do it. I've got something prepared for next hour that is the answer, but I don't think, I'm not sure if people want the answer. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think so many people have buried their heads, and the people who are actually aware of it are like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I'm so close to just saying, get to the mountains, gang. Get to the mountains. Let God sort all this stuff out. It's going to be ugly. Ugly. Because we refuse to turn back to him. After September 11th, well, we learned our lesson. Oh, God, help us. Oh, God, help us. And we actually meant, oh, God, help us. We went our own way. And now look at where we are. I pray for you every day. I ask that you would pray for me and my staff and for guidance. I'm getting to the point where I don't know what is true anymore. I don't know what's true. I mean, I've been duped and fooled so many times in so many ways that I'm like, I believe in the best in people. I believe in the people of America. I believe in you. And I know we can turn this around. I just wonder where the hell our armies are. Where and I mean armies of even bureaucrats, of think tank people who are actually doing something. These people have thought this through for years. This is not happening through happenstance. It's not because Biden sucks. This is a plan. Where's ours? Where is the group that we can coalesce around?